Guten Abend. I'm Nick Jepson. Welcome to People in Perspective. I'm joined today by Patricia Reaves, a German teacher here at RB. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you. Dankeschön.
I understand you were born in Europe. What was that like?
I was born in Germany, Hamburg to be precise, and I grew up there as a child, came over when I was about in 6th grade, and didn't know a word of English, so I had to learn English when I came here. And that was hard.
Now, tell me more about the immigration. What brought you here to the U.S.?
Well, my dad had a great opportunity with a job here in America. So he was a doctor and research is fabulous in America. So we decided to follow. And we were going to stay a year, and we ended up staying for probably forever. And that was not anticipated at the time.
Now, as soon as you came here, what shocked you about America as?
Well, I think everything seems very big if you come from Europe. We have gigantic parking lots, we have wide freeways, we have big cities, especially Chicago. I came at the time to LA, and Germany is a lot smaller. It's more contained, more public transportation, people walk a lot more. So it has, kind of a different atmosphere. Plus you have a lot of older things in Europe, and everything here is very new.
About the food, what are some differences between the American cuisine and German cuisine?
Well, in Germany, I think people eat pretty, home-cooked type meals. We don't do the fast foods as much. We don't have as many choices in fast foods, even though that's beginning to show up a lot more on streets in Europe. We eat definitely, more salads and things like that than even in the German restaurants here in America. So I think there's a great variety of international foods. Turkish foods are quite in, so people eat döner, and also, of course, American hamburgers and so on.
About your education, what's the difference between education in Germany as in what we have here?
In Germany, people have about 15 subjects that they take, especially in the high school level. You have a tracking system, so people on the fast track go to college, and it's called the gymnasium over there. Starting in 5th grade, you learn your first foreign language, and mostly those students going to college will have 3 required foreign languages that they have to take. And you have to manage your time with 15 subjects, so it's very different than here. Also, I think students, they sometimes are given a little bit more freedom in the schools. Many schools are open campus schools, so it is very different than here. School day is a lot shorter than what we have.
Now, when you came to the U.S., what were your first, how did you get interested in teaching your own language to the American
All right,
populace?
well, I think one of the things was, number one, I wanted to teach people about my home culture. But in addition, I also wanted to maintain my own language, because once you start using English a lot, you lose your fluency, and I didn't want to do that. So now I'm constantly going back and forth between German and English, especially in AP classes where I use German a whole lot more. So all day I'm kind of back and forth between the languages, and I find that challenging. I think it's a lot of fun.
Now, what were your first careers in America? What were you first interested in?
Well, I did many different things in America, but I am still doing a lot of genealogical work for people. I work with archives in Germany. I do translation jobs for people, particularly in the older script. And I think, of course, in German, there's every 4th American has probably German ancestry, so there's quite a lot of old letters and materials floating around that people don't know what it is, and so they usually call me and find out, what did Grandpa actually say in his letter, and so we help them, facilitate that. And so I see myself very much as a facilitator of 2 cultures. For the Germans, I facilitate America, and for the Americans, I facilitate Germany.
Now, what brought you here to RB?
Well, my school closed after many years, and so all of us were out of a job. It was kind of interesting. But I started here at RB quite a number of years ago, and kind of built up the German program. And I find it a very, very nice school to work for. Great community as well, and it's a fabulous opportunity, to continue teaching what I love.
Now, earlier you mentioned the old script. Could you tell me a bit about what you do with that?
Yeah, the script before the Hitler period in Germany was pretty difficult. It looked very pretty, but it's hard to decipher. And for instance, I did a Civil War letter where they didn't use any punctuations whatsoever in 9 pages of text. So, I work quite a bit with, trying to decipher these things, which really does need some skill. There are about 30 different variations of one letter when you're dealing with Sütterlin, so it's not as normatized as English is.
Now, could you tell me a bit about the German program here at RB?
Right, we teach German 1 through 4. We have an AP program. There are some isolated students who sometimes go into the 5th year, but we have German 3 is honors and German 4 is AP. We don't have any feeder programs in German, so they go straight, beginning with 9th grade German, and 4 years later we're taking an AP exam, so it's quite challenging at times. But the students enjoy the program, and I think they learn a lot about competition and, also what the colleges want, and particularly in science and engineering, German is very useful.
Now, you've been telling us about the UIC competition. Could you?
Yeah, we are always in February and March. We're getting ready for a major competition. We do poetry contests, skits, videos. Students have a chance to do culture essays. If we have an exchange student, they actually tell us about America and what they learned here from sort of the German perspective. My students have an opportunity to participate in spelling bees. They do art covers for the competition. So they're quite involved. And they can also see a German class in operation at UIC. So January is a very busy month for us because we're getting ready to compete, and the last couple of years we got first place winners in poetry, so that was very nice.
Now, the German exchange program, could you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, we have a program that we started several years ago. It comes out of Ohio, and it sounded exciting because the students are able to spend some time in Germany during the summer, go to school there, live with a German family, and in the springtime, their German partners come to see us. So we get to know a little bit who they are before we go over to Europe. So it is a great opportunity for them to learn about each other, learn about our different cultures, learn to sort of bridge gaps and borders, and they have a great opportunity to live as Germans or live as Americans, and we have a lot to teach each other about our countries. So it's a great opportunity.
Now, usually, where do these German exchange students come from in the States of Germany?
Generally, the first program was started with a teacher who was a soccer coach, and he took his soccer students over, and two teachers got together between the two countries and decided that it would be a great idea to share some of the cultures. And it has really grown. It's now coast to coast, and we have done this for several years. And I generally have about 3 students a year who go over to Europe, and they have friendships for the rest of their lives. But it started with Hessen, and it's kind of bridged out a little bit in Germany to the southern states as well, but you're right in the center. It's easy for my students to travel everywhere.
Now, from the German exchange student point of view, what are some of the major things they like talking about? What shocks them about America?
Well, I think one of the things today, one of our students gave us a program about Thüringen. We have Jakob here from Thüringen, and he comes from a small village which is probably about 1,000 years old. And here's Chicago, we're a huge city, and he has the mountains and the fields, the greenery is there. And here, of course, we're a sea of houses, and I think it probably is really impressive to him just how big everything is. I think our school is a great deal bigger than their school is. I think what we offer at RB is a great deal more. And just to get from place to place, like he's planning to go to New York, which, just a drive there, I think will be impressive for him, just how long this is going to take. So it's a nice way for students to really find out what it is like to also live with another family. It's not just about the culture and the exchange, but also learning about, just integrating into different people's ways of operating. And that's what we're learning when we're over in Germany as well.
Well, we're out of time. Thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Dankeschön.
We'll see you next time on People in Perspective. Auf Wiedersehen.